This is a demonstration of the KCSG Kartra Pages plugin, which is a plugin specifically designed to display your Kartra-built pages on your WordPress website. First, a quick disclaimer. This free plugin was created by me, Brian Katzung, from Kappa Computer Solutions LLC and busres.com business resources. As such, it is not affiliated with, endorsed, or supported by Kartra or Genesis Digital. With that out of the way, let's go ahead with the installation process. I'm on the Add New Plugin page of my WordPress site. Just search for Kartra. Here's the plugin, KCSG Kartra Pages. Click Install Now. And then after it's installed, go ahead and activate the plugin. And then either go to an existing blank page or create a new page for the place on your WordPress website where you want to install your page. Enter the title. After you install a plugin, I'll need to refresh this page because I just installed a plugin. After you install a plugin, you'll find that there's a new template in the template options called KCSG Kartra Page. To use this plugin, select that template and save or update your page. That will make this template selection apply to this page. And there's also a new set of controls that will appear, KCSG Kartra Pages. These controls determine how the template will choose what to display on the front end of your website. So in the first mode, that's WordPress mode, this works virtually identically to the Blank Slate plugin that Kartra has historically recommended you use to display your Kartra pages embedded in your WordPress website. And I'll talk a little bit more about how KCSG Kartra Pages differs from Blank Slate in a minute as we go. But for now, I'll show you it is possible to use KCSG Kartra Pages in the same way as Blank Slate. So if you want to use it to display a Kartra page, go to your My Pages in Kartra, go to the page you want to display, click on the triple dot menu, and then Get Code or Link. Then go to the Get Page Code, and you will copy and paste this script into a custom HTML block on your WordPress page, and you would go ahead and update to save that. I've already saved that for this page, and then I'm going to select the WordPress mode and click Apply. So this Apply button just applies to these settings here. And we'll process that request, comes back right away, request complete. So now if I go to the front end of my website and display that page, so here's the demo page I have set up in Kartra, and as you can see, it's loaded the page from Kartra. I have no WordPress setup except for my WordPress admin bar because I'm logged in as a WordPress administrator, so that's at the top of my page, but regular users won't see that. And it's loaded my page, and because I do not have a custom domain assigned to this page in Kartra, and I'm using the Blank Slate style mode called WordPress mode, I'm getting the Kartra favorite icon branding for this page. So let's look at the other modes. The next mode is the Kartra Live mode, and this works fairly similarly to the WordPress mode in that it's going to display the live version of the Kartra page, and by that I mean whatever is the most recently published version of the Kartra page is what will be displayed. Now, one of the differences here is you can plug in the embed script here into this input. In fact, you must supply the page URL, which is this portion. This is the portion that's required. You can either put in just the URL or the entire embed code, and KCSG Kartra Pages will grab the URL out of this and discard the rest, as you'll see in a moment. So you don't need to go through the extra step of creating a custom HTML block and embedding the code in there. You can just paste it here. One of the other differences is that instead of displaying the Kartra favorite icon, it will use your WordPress site icon settings. And it's also going to use a page loader script that is part of the KCSG Kartra page template. So this is going to shorten the process of displaying the final Kartra page by one step. So that's one of the benefits. That page loading script is very much tuned toward displaying the Kartra page. Normally when you display a WordPress page, it includes a bunch of assets to help the display of a WordPress page, but since our goal is not to display a WordPress page but to display the Kartra page, this template eliminates most of the stuff that WordPress normally includes to support displaying a WordPress page. So a side effect of that is that if you have other plugins in WordPress that are inserting tracking or retargeting pixels or something of that nature, they likely will not be loaded. So you need to be sure you have your tracking and retargeting and whatever other scripts, Google Analytics and so forth. You need to configure that on the Kartra side, not on the WordPress side. Also, historically, there have been some issues using the Blank Slate plugin, in which under some circumstances, which have not been pinned down at this point, the exact cause isn't known at this point, but there's a likely path that is being taken through the code when it's getting into that infinite looping state, where the page basically loads continuously over and over and over again. It never stops loading and you never get to see the final page. So this plugin has anti-looping protections to prevent that scenario from happening. So that's another advantage over using the Blank Slate. So enough talking about that. Let's go ahead and apply this. You'll see it's going to pull out this URL when I apply it. And so now we're in this mode. The request has been completed. So let's go to our page. Remember, this was a Kartra favicon before. Now we're going to reload and use the KCSG Kartra page template. So the page is basically loaded. Now it's just loading some assets referenced by the page. And there the page is finally finished loading. There's a bunch of stuff in the background that was loading. And as you can see now, I have my WordPress site icon instead of the Kartra. And if I view the source, you can see it's a very small page. There's no extra stuff to speak of being loaded for WordPress. It's only the stuff that's needed to load the Kartra page basically in a frame within the page. And then the final mode that's supported is Kartra download mode. And what this mode will do is it'll actually grab a snapshot of the most recently published version of the Kartra page, and it will store that snapshot of the page. The actual page HTML will be stored in the WordPress database so that when someone comes to visit your page on the front end, it'll have the page HTML ready to go right from WordPress. So this will eliminate a number of steps and network requests required to display the page. Also, because the HTML is being served directly from WordPress in this mode, whereas in the other modes, it's actually creating an iframe, which is like a page within the page, and the domain, the part that makes it live and always up to date, is the fact that in the live mode, it's loading the page from Kartra as a page within the page. That Kartra page has a Kartra domain URL. So in that mode, if a search engine is indexing the page, it will probably see that the content is actually coming from Kartra, even though it's being displayed within a WordPress page. And it may well attribute any SEO attributes to your Kartra domain in that case. Since in the download case, the HTML is actually coming from WordPress, and the SEO association will be with your will be with your WordPress domain instead of your Kartra domain. Excuse me. The other factor is, again referencing live mode, several JavaScript scripts run to cause the Kartra page to appear within the WordPress outer page. Not every search engine necessarily understands the JavaScript, so some search engines may not be able to accurately index your content in live mode or with or the equivalent blank slate mode. With the Kartra download, since the HTML page is served directly from WordPress, the search engines do not need to deal with the JavaScript that gets the page there because it's coming straight from WordPress. So more search engines will be likely to be able to index your content. So let's go ahead and apply this. As I apply this, that fast it went to Kartra and downloaded a snapshot of the page and stored it in WordPress. Going back for just a second, in the live mode, since it's always going to Kartra, if you make a change, if you publish a change in Kartra to the page, you don't need to do any changes in WordPress if you're using live mode. In download mode, it's only reloading the database when you click apply. So if you publish an update to your Kartra page in Kartra for download mode, come back here, click apply, it'll refresh the page, and then you're good to go with the latest copy. So let's go take a look. We'll reload this page. So it's got the basic page. Now it's loading the assets that are referenced by the page. There's a form and some other stuff, which is why it takes a while. Again, we've got the WordPress configured icon instead of the Kartra icon. And now if we take a quick look at the code, we'll see we have a lot more code in here because it's downloaded the HTML for the entire page and served it directly from WordPress. So that concludes this demonstration. I hope you found it helpful.